Hello, welcome to my cake kitchen. I am Gladys. I love cake, and over here I make simple, informative tutorials to help you navigate baking and decorating easily. Today we're back to some decorating stuff. The last couple of days we've covered the subject of ganache, how to use it, and we came back to baking a simplistic cake yesterday, which was amazing. Today we are back to decorating. It's Halloween, but I mean, I've missed the Halloween buzz, but I was making I started with the intention of making a hyper realistic steak cake, as in a raw steak, and I figured it would be great to bring you along the journey. Now, I don't know if I have all the time to create this because of the details required, but if you ever wonder what I use my spare cakes for, I mean, I have a doggy cake that needs to be redone. Sometimes the spare cakes go into some of the hyper realistic cakes to enhance my own skill and to learn new techniques and to do different stuff where necessary, because you know what, you can never stop learning. So I thought I would bring you along this journey. So essentially what we're doing is, this is the first part of a hyper realistic steak cake. Now, I don't know how that ties into Halloween, okay? It's my first attempt at it. I think I have an image of what I want to do with it, but as always, these are first time trials and I leave room for error so that you come back and see that, you know what, even with my own skills and advancement and experience, there are places where I fall short. So are we going to get it to the best cake we can? Perhaps yes. Is there room for error? Oh yes. And that's all part of the decorating process. So I hope this is like an encouragement to you if you want to start learning something new. Do not be too scared. Just go and start the thing and get on with it. And you never know. You might just surprise yourself. Now, the cake I have here for this hyper realistic cake is actually some cupcakes that I had that had gone off. I said gone off. They'd gone stale. And I didn't want to chuck them. So I mashed them together with some buttercream. I mashed them together with some buttercream and molded them into a steak. I mean, there is really no definitive shape of how a steak should look like. So this is at least the core of what we are going to be working with. It is going to start with the covering of a fondant, and then we will sculpt and do the rest of it. If you have questions in there, let's see. Right. Oh, my people, there's Carabo, there's Lollipop, there is Steph. Steph, how are you, darling? There is, basically it's, Strudel. Strudel is, I don't know if Strudel is molding. I think I will cut Strudel up one of these days so we get to see. We are not going into the Christmas season with Strudel at all. That shouldn't happen. So I went ahead and I made some red fondant here. Now, the thing with steak cake is that whilst it is red, it's depending on how the steak looks. You may have, if it's fresh, you have the bright red. And then if you leave it to set, as in cure, the red changes. So, I mean, there's really no definitive color. And plus, when you look at a hyper realistic, when you look at a steak cake, it's marbled. You have white bits, which is the fat running through. So I've gone ahead and marbled this slightly, but it won't end there. I am going to employ some gloves. The thing with some of these cakes is that it really requires a lot of attention for me. So in the chat, if you have questions, just make sure you highlight the question with, shall we have a way where I can identify questions when I go back in? Can some genius find a way? What do you do? Maybe start your question with a question mark, 3 question marks, so that when I look in the chat, I know you are asking me a question, right? So 3 question marks, so that I know you are talking to me. But otherwise, you probably have to keep yourselves company whilst I work this out. To start with, I don't want the fondant to dry, so I am literally jumping into doing this. I've covered the surface with a bit of cornstarch just so that it doesn't stick. Then I'm going to dab that, and then I'll get my fondant roller over here. You want to make sure that however you roll this, it is thick enough to cover so you can mold what you want to mold on it. So the fondant is just leftover fondant I had from a cake project. It's really not anything. So there you have it. Because I don't want any tears in it, so I am using the clean part here. You could use the other part, but it's neither here nor there. So I'm going to just lay this on top here. The thing with hyper realistic cake is that you can literally mold what you want out of it. And when you look at a steak, there are parts of it that are so fine and sharp. So I am following the shape of the steak, and I'm pinching just to create that sharpness at the edge. And then I'm going to go here. Now, if you realize that I didn't put anything on the, I didn't apply anything to hold it, it's because I had left it to defrost a little bit so the cake can glue the fondant to itself. And you want to make sure that your fondant is pliable and it's not dry, because when it dries, it will crack. So for some of these cakes, it's sometimes best to use modeling chocolate. But modeling chocolate is not easily accessible, and sometimes you have to make your own, or it's expensive to buy. So I try to use fondant where I can, but of course you can use modeling chocolate if you wanted to. And then what I'm going to do is we're going to cut the excess fondant off. When you cut the excess fondant, you want to be careful. Right. I don't know why I decided to make a steak cake. That is probably because I just had the cake pops and I thought, what can I do with cake pops? I have to create something flat, which is how I ended up with. And I thought, it's Halloween. Wouldn't it be weird to have a steak with a bloodied steak of some sort? So let's see. Well, I think it will make a proper Halloween theme if we made a bloodied steak and I ate it. But because this is obviously made from the kind of cake we know I'm making it from, I'm not going to be able to eat that, am I? Okay, we are not going to eat that. Now I'm getting a cake tool. To be honest, sometimes I think when I make hyper-realistic cakes, I wonder what skill, what is the best thing I can show you so that you will learn. And I think for hyper-realistic cakes, imagination is your best tool, you know, because as I'm doing this, I know what a steak looks like. I have a rough idea of what I imagine a steak is going to look like, but much of it is like texture and creasing. Look, if I didn't do anything at all and I took a picture of this from a certain angle, it will look like a steak. But of course, you know, we are not about to do that. We are about the actual thing. So let me just tear this paper off. It's doing my head in. There you go. Right, so let's go and make this work. First of all, let's try and get, well, we'll wipe the top off when we get there. But the thing about a steak is it's never it's never this fine, right? So you know, you have the steak and then you have the fat bits. The fat bit is the challenging part, right? So let's see. I am rolling. You want to make sure that the fat bit is soft, right? Because you don't want... Okay, so for instance, and the fat bits... Okay, I'll tell you. I think at this point I have to accept I can't do both. I can't. Okay, I need to use some, yeah. Okay, right. Okay, where are we? Okay. Right. So I want to just make sure the fat bits are flat on the cake. So okay, and so if it tears, you're not looking for perfection. Okay, what you do is you roll this over and then you start using your tool to almost like... Sometimes when I make these tutorials, I love to come and show you, but I also feel so bad because it requires such concentration from me that I feel like I am unable to focus and talk you through what I am doing, right? So what I'm doing is I am just spreading the fat and flattening it on the surface. And there's really no plan to this. If anything, the mistakes, what may appear as mistakes on it is actually adding character. Yeah, you want to make sure that the white is flat on it and the bits that spread along. I guess you are seeing me do the thing, so right there you go. I think at this point I should have some music on so that we can all... Can you begin to see a steak? Imagine if someone called me and said they were ordering a steak cake. Okay. What I can do... Right. I want you to see what I'm doing. So I'm going to get a clear tin here, put it on top. And actually what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of add some water to some fondant so that it's sticky. There's really, if you watch online, there are different ways you can derive the texture you want. I am just doing what feels right for me right here, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. Right, so there you have it. if you can see from wherever you're watching it, can you see a steak forming? I think I can see a steak form. Maybe it's in my mind's eye. And what I am applying on it is piping gel. It's sticky. So all I'm doing is picking the fondant and applying it. And there's really no specific way to do this part, but depending on what steak you are making, okay, somebody said I see it. They can see steak. Okay, let's see. And then some fondant here. And all I'm doing is pushing the white bits in. This is the fat. I don't know how I decided that I wanted to make a steak cake, but hey, I am here for it. How do you like your steak? I'm African. I don't do rare. Okay, I don't know about you, but I do not do rare steak here. The thing has to be cooked. Somebody says I see it. Okay. Okay. Now I am just forming some snake shape, because fat on steak looks different in different ways. So you have to make sure you can get that. Just snaky bits. You can tell there's really no plan to this, really. Lollipop, are you not with the rare gang? The people who they're like, I like my steak rare. I'm like, what kind of rare is that? Okay. So I am maybe if I get really adventurous, I might come back and make the plastic bits that will cover the steak. Who knows? Lollipop says, when I see blood, I don't want it. Okay. So you are not with the rare gang. You are really my person. Because I'm like, why are we eating raw stuff here in the name of rare? Why? Why are we doing such a thing right now? This is... Now, the thing with having to make your own steak, as I'm doing here, is you get to decide how fatty or not fatty you want it. So do we want a fatty steak or we don't? Okay. Rio's daddy. Oh, he stepped out. Okay. So what we are going to do is apply some fat around the edges. So that we can get that I want Rio's daddy to be here, and then he will need to go get me a, I'm talking to myself, people, because I need something from the fridge, which is away from me right now. Imagine if someone ordered a steak cake to serve 60. Can you imagine? I have to create this on a huge cake. That would be a lot, wouldn't it? Can you see steak? Sir? Sir?
Yeah.
Can you see a steak on my work table?
Oh, wow.
Well, check in the cake.
Don't overcook it and ruin it.
Do me a favor. Check in the cake fridge, the small one in the lounge, please. I have tracks in there. Okay. It's a tub, please. Can you pass it?
How many? One or two?
Just the one, please.
In a few
I
minutes.
won't be upset, look.
Yeah, not right now, Ria, though. In a few minutes.
Just the one. You think you can see steak?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Let's go make this work then. Steak cake. Steak cake. Right. This is the only time I'll ask you a favor, people in there. If you're in the chat and you think you can see a steak cake, do me a favor and put a like in the like the video for me, please, because by so doing you are not just here but you're showing support for the channel, and YouTube will then put this in front of people. I saw I had to watch a few. Does that look like a steak? I think I can see steak. But we are not done yet. We are not done yet because I don't feel like I have definition to it yet. Okay. At least I've got much of the parts that I want. Now let's go and add texture and define. Some of the parts. Okay, right. Okay. This is my tool. There's really no rhyme or reason to this. It's just when you see a steak, it's not like everything about it is not really fine. You have If you can see steak, leave a like in the chat. Let's see. Okay. If you're wondering what we are doing, we are trying to make a hyper realistic steak cake. And I think to add texture, sometimes you don't know how you will achieve the texture until you get to work. So I am just using a foil thing to kind of press into it just to give it some texture on the side over here. So that we have because when you look at a steak, it's not fine everywhere. So, and when you use the foil, you can change the foil around so that it's not the same dimension. So all I am doing is pressing that in. Lollipop says it might help if it wasn't rectangular. I think because I have some pork shoulder that looks like this in my freezer. I don't want to kind of bother myself opening the freezer. I would have brought it out because that's the sort of guide I have mentally, the pork shoulder. Because the fresh pork shoulder looks like that. Okay, there we are. It seems like it looks like steak, but I'm not done yet. I am sometimes astonished by how easy this appears, even though I know it's not. This is the sort of cake you make because you're trying to clear your head and you don't want to be bothered by anything. This is the sort of cake you make. Because right now, all I want to do is just disappear and quietly just carve this. But I also wanted you to come along the journey and see how we get this. Because making this into like a tutorial for you is just going to be hard because then I have to clip things out and then you don't get to see the experience. So the best thing is to kind of bring it on a live so that you were here to see exactly what we're doing. I think on camera I can see a steak. What do you think? Look. On camera I can see the steak. What steak would this be? Ribeye? I don't know how when people order hyper realistic cake they eat it, because after carving this I would not want to eat this because it would just feel like, what is this? Why is anybody wanting to eat this? There's 35 of you in there, people. Do consider supporting the channel by liking the video. That is, if you can see a steak. Yeah. Oh God. A dead Amy Winehouse. Lollipop. Which kind of people are you hanging out with over there? Because why first of all, Amy Winehouse is dead. Why would you want to have a replica of her cake? Why? Why would anybody want that for themselves? That looks like the Aldi steak. It just came from the butchers, not the Amy Winehouse cake, okay? That didn't come from the butchers, because I'm not sure the butchers will be doing anything about that. Okay, there you go. Okay, there you go. Do we have a steak? I think we do. I think we do. We've ended up on that side of the street. We have a steak. Okay. Who wants to eat raw steak for Halloween? Yes, darling, it's a cake. Okay? I think if for a minute you panic and you think you're looking at a cake, you're looking at steak because I became a butcher, you are not wrong, because that's the whole point of hyper-realistic cakes. To get you to kind of stop for a minute and wonder, is it? Isn't it? Oh, Lord. I like this. I like the trickery of these cakes. There you go. I don't think I want to do anything more to it than just add texture. What do you think? Add texture and then paint the thing. Okay, I do not want to do anything. You need to know when to stop. You need to know when to stop, because doing any more is just going to ruin the thing. Okay, so we're just adding slight bit of flesh here. Do you think we should do any more to this freshly cut steak? I think I like it. It looks like steak. Now we'll... Monica, good evening, darling. How are you? If you thought you're looking at a steak, yeah, your girl turned into a butcher. Okay, I decided to become a butcher overnight. And there you have it. Ooh. Now, I think I still want to add texture. Now, if I was going to eat the cake, I wouldn't have used this as texture. But because nobody's eating it, I am just going to use this thing to add texture. If it wasn't, I would be using a hard brittle brush, but I don't have a hard brittle brush. I just wanted to add some definition to it. So there you go. There is really no rhyme or reason. What you're doing is just ensuring that however you add the texture, it is adding to the natural look of the steak. So all I'm doing is rubbing this in to kind of pick the bits up and to create. Okay. Okay, there you go. Okay, now we've got some texture to it, but that's not how a steak looks in its real form. So now we're going to use a paper towel to kind of like polish off the texture is still on there, but we're looking to refine and set. Okay, so look, right now I'll put that away to the side, and now what's left is you can then use the best tool for texture sometimes is your finger, you know, just run it over just so that you can get some clean. This is it, ready for cooking. So what I'm trying to do then is just gather some of the fat lines on there so that it's not like one dimension. It's like moving in different parts. That is just if you want to really add a bit more to it, but otherwise, you know what, if I went and got my ribeye steak and it looked like this, I won't be mad. But we are not done. We're going to add a bit more coloring. That is, coloring is not my strongest suit in terms of skill, because I'm a bit heavy-handed, and sometimes you have to be very delicate. Lloyd, smothered pork chops and rice, my darling. I am hungry. Can you please make us some pork chops over there, right? Pork chops. You just got in there. There you go. That looks like pork. That looks like steak to me. I don't know what kind of steak. The whole point, I've always said, if you are starting with hyper realistic cakes, you want to leave room for interpretation. So whether this is beef steak, pork steak, it is steak. That's all. I don't know. Now, what we could do is get some coloring in, which is not my strongest point, but I'm going to try. Okay, try. Okay, so I'm going to try and put just a tad bit of color over here, and then I'm going to add, because depending on how you do the coloring, you will go from an aged steak. Okay, let's see. Okay. Okay, so okay, I think I can get this right, because okay, we got this right. Do I look excited? Yeah, I think so, because what I'm doing is I am not like overdoing the color at all, but there is like a fresh cut of steak to this. Oh, Mr. B? Okay, so we got a steak here. Some days I feel like I surprise myself. Hello. Look, I think I'm done. I'm not doing any more. And then I'm going to go back in. I'm going to go back in and dab the color out a bit. Going to dab the color out a little bit. Okay, that's it. I'm not doing anything else. That's a steak cake. I cannot believe it. Yeah, that's it. What do you think? Steak or not? And if I wanted it to be like raw steak, why? Glad. Why do you want this to be raw steak? I mean, why not? Or add corn syrup. Okay, a little touch of corn syrup. Okay. 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 Yeah. Little touch of corn syrup and you have those fresh vibes. Okay, yeah. A little touch of corn syrup and yeah, there you go. This is fresh steak. There you go. Christina, hello there, darling. Right, why are you not sure about the steak itself? Is it the idea of the steak or you don't think the cake looks like steak? You know what? We are honest people here, so talk to us, you know. We don't mind if you don't agree. I mean, I don't mind specifically. So what is the, you said a lot of hard work for sure, not sure about the steak itself. So is it that it doesn't look like a steak, or it's because you wouldn't have chosen a steak, or the idea of a steak is not something that is appealing to you? What, put some words to what you're saying there, just so that, look, this is my very first attempt at a steak cake. Do I think it is perfect? Perfection is in the eye of the artist, okay? If I think this looks like a steak cake, I mean, if I packaged it the way I wanted to, and it could fool someone into believing this is raw steak, I guess my job is done. But if there is room for improvement... Oh, okay, it looks too real. Yeah. You know what? I wouldn't want to eat this either, Christina. Okay, so I am not mad if you feel like it's too real. You know, thank you. It's okay. I mean, that's the whole point of hyper-realistic cakes. To make it, to repulse you in a good way, okay? If you could look at it and think, is this real? That's the whole point. We want it to look too real so you will be repulsed. Okay, there you are. I'm loving this. No. I can't even think of my mouth going close to this. No. Lollipop, I will do anything for you, but if you try to bite this, it's scary. No. No, honey. Christina says, looks too real. I guess when that happens, my job is done. Because my job is to make it look a little too real for you to go, this is just, I can't. If it repulses you, my job is done. So... Thank you, Christina. You know what? I think I'm just like a lucky baker who enjoys both the baking and decorating aspects of the cake making. So if you enjoy the baking aspect, stick with us. If you enjoy the decorating too, I mean, we are having fun, aren't we? So it's great to have you though, honey. Thank you for being here and thank you for stopping by, okay? Today, I just decided that I didn't want to bake. I had some cake to go and I was going to use it for this mess right here. I think this is the part where you need to know when to stop, Glad. Glad, just stop it already. There you go. I told you people. This is amazing. Okay, there you go. Just a little bit more. Like, what do you mean? Lollipop, lollipop, don't encourage me. Like, shall we make it a bit more raw? Because we can. It can look a bit more raw. Okay, before we get to making it a bit more raw, I have to think, because what we do not want is to add more color than we need. Okay, there you go. If you want it to be a bit more raw, all you have to do is add some more red highlights. Yeah, and then you have a raw piece of steak. It looks real enough. Okay, we are not doing any more then. Let's stop here, Glad. Okay, Glad, stop. Okay. Okay, let's go and do this. Okay, I'm not adding any more color. What I'm just doing is, okay, and then let's dab it dry. There you go. I'm not doing any more. It's enough. There you go. Steak cake, steak cake. First of all, let's clear this and serve our raw steak on a plate. Okay? We're serving it on a plate. I have ideas, but first of all, let's serve the thing on a plate. Okay. Okay, I'm just putting some tricks on the bottom of the bowl so that when I serve the cake, it doesn't stick. And then whilst that is done, I'm going to get myself a grease-proof paper so that I can lift it off the bottom if I have to. Just a small grease-proof paper. Just a small here. There you go. All of that. Da 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 da. I'm singing my song. Okay, now we need to get this fake steak on the plate. Okay. Oh, Seasons, you are my pet. I have a chopping board. I think I will put it on a chopping board instead of a plate. Okay, I will. I do have a chopping board. Seasons, you are the real MVP, sis. Thank you. Oh, we're gonna put that on a chopping board. I know you don't try. You are gonna know. Oh, there you go. Right, let's clear up and let's put this on a chopping board. That, Seasons, Steph, you are the genius. There you go. Let's clear up and get the chopping board because that idea is exciting. Okay, now that's the mess from the class. come and make a steak cake with me. Okay, no, I'm not washing this yet because I don't know if after putting it on the chopping board. Now, I think I have ideas for wanting to create a board, as in I have some cake, and that will be on another tutorial when I'm feeling inspired. Okay, don't let me go and do anything. Okay, so Eva says, I have an idea. Maybe a plate like a fancy restaurant would. Like you're being served a huge chunk of raw meat. You know what? The French people might just do that. We'll try both and then we'll see. We'll try both because we can take a photo with both and I don't mind both. So let's try. I mean, at the end of the day, the whole point is to experiment and play with the ideas that will repulse us. That's the whole point of hyper-realistic cakes. Because if I took a photo, like cutting into this to eat, I'm sure if you saw that, you'd be like, oh, please. I don't know why I'm excited about this. Wait, let's see. We have it on a plate now. So let me just clear up my work surface and then we will try and get this. Whew, I don't know. I just woke up and I thought I want to make a steak cake and I started it. And then I was like, why don't you go and show your people what you're doing? I know, Eva, rich people be out here riching right, okay? If you haven't eaten food that repulse regular people, you ain't rich. Because I don't know how people, now this is me bringing my uncultured self to the marketplace, okay? Some of us don't even pretend, okay? Because what is that thing called? Is it oyster? That thing, the slimy little thing you, I'm like, why? Why? Have I got to eat raw slimy stuff? No. No. Yeah. Steph says next time I should make a chopping board. Sure. I would like to. I have to feel inspired though. Half of the time my work table is busy with hanging out with you guys and doing the other regular stuff. These are just the odd times where I'm like, let me go do something for me, okay? So yeah, we might just. I know, rich people spending 40,000 on a hat. I'm like, anyway, I guess if you have such many zeros you don't know what to do with, you will be spending 40,000 too. But you know what? I have so many Africans Ghanaians to think about. At least my family members to worry about to not spend 40,000 on a hat, no matter how rich I get. Okay? There will always be me converting the money. There is something about being an immigrant that always makes you think, the equivalence of this money in the city is just not worth. It could buy a land. How am I no. No. Suddenly when you convert the money, you're like, no, it can't be that serious. 40,000 on this shit? No, hell no. I actually do like avocado, okay? I like avocado mayo, not guacamole. No, I am not that cultured, okay? But I do like, I like avocado, like mashed avocado with a bit of salt and mayo, just a little bit of mayo. On a bacon sandwich. That stuff is like a good breakfast option for me. The good thing is I don't use this chopping board. So let's get to using it right, shall we? Okay. Okay, right. I need to make some corrections here. Okay. Okay, yeah. Okay, there you have it. The chopping board idea is better. I think I like it better because it looks like I am going to cut the thing. Okay, there you have it. Somebody called the EHO. I have decided to cook meat on a day when I should be baking. Somebody ring the EHO real quick. Real quick. We got problems out here. Okay, there you go. Yep. My people, you got it right. This was your idea, not mine. Like, who wakes up and thinks, this is my job? I love it. There you go. Okay, let's not do any more. Okay, now what we really need is a knife. We have a raw steak. Raw steak. That looks a little bit too steaky. But yeah, the steak is steaking. Now the next step is to heat up the grill. Yeah, we might just come back and repaint this into a grilled steak. That will take some skill, but I might want to try that too. Right? I've done it before. I made a turkey cake in its raw form, and then I stippled it into I just want to get that corner is bugging me. I stippled it into a grilled turkey. Okay. Should we have some blood on the top on the work surface? I think so. Shall we do that? Glad. Glad, stop here. Anyway, a bit of blood never hurt nobody. Oh, look, I don't use this board, so I might as well. Because if it hasn't got blood on it, it's look, we've got blood on it. Okay. Okay. I think it turns out it's good as it's. Okay, I'm going to leave it like that, but we can see bits of blood on it. It's okay. I'm not doing anything else. Glad. It's okay, leave it. Because sometimes the challenge is knowing when to leave it. Sometimes you keep going and going until you ruin the thing. Sometimes simplicity is all you need. Steak cake. Steaky, steaky. Do you want a steak cake? Yeah. Right. There you go. That's I don't know why I'm excited. I'm just excited because you know what? The idea was sitting in my head, and frankly, I really wasn't feeling it today. And you know what they say, motivation doesn't do it. Sometimes discipline does it. Discipline does it. Our friend who says Jesus loves you, Jesus loves you too. And thank you for being here with us. Okay, we know Jesus loves you. Did you see me? Because I can't help myself. I've gone and I've okay, let's see. Okay. Aha. I just found something exciting. Okay. You know what this does? The corn, it just adds an extra layer of texture. Okay, right. And then, okay. I was just about, yep, there you go. There you go. Yep. Yeah, I could put crystallized sugar, but you know what? I don't want to keep going. I think it is okay as is. In a photograph, it will look. Oh, Eva says hanging out here made her day better. We are so Tylos. Yeah, Tylos powder is here. Look, I don't want to put anything on it because look, up until now it looks great as is, so we don't want to do anything else. I was just the thing I sprinkled on it was just to see if it was going to add dimension to the flesh, because when you look at a steak cake, sometimes you have dots of fat in the meaty parts, and I was just thinking of how I could replicate that, but it is okay as is, because also I've got to make room for what it looks like in a photo. If the white is too much, the lighting in a photograph is going to blur it out and it will look like a very white white fatty steak instead of the steak with flesh and dimension on it. I hope that kind of makes sense. So we are glad we could make you laugh over here, Eva, and yeah, do consider stopping with us sometime when you can. We have fun over here and we are a family. Put it out of sight. Thank you, Eva. I think I would. Just over here. Just over there. I will bring it back when I finish clearing my surface, or when I finish hanging out with you and I don't have the urge to do anything more. Because sometimes you have to kind of know when to stop the urge of doing more than you need, you know. I think I have a cake that I wanted to turn into a witch's cauldron, but I'm not sure I want to do that. But anyway, I'll think of something Halloween-y themed, and we might just come back and do something Halloween themed. In the meantime, I am just happy we made this cake. Maybe we should turn our doggy here into a raw hog roast for Halloween. I think that would be great. Okay, we could do that. We could do that. I could actually make that happen. Who is here for a raw hog roast? Can you imagine if we stripped our dog and we made it a fleshy looking dog, like with a knife in his head and blood over here? That would just be cruel. Poor Strudel. I think we could do, who knows? I mean, that's the whole point. Express. See, the Lord doesn't like evil. I can't speak. All right. Whatever that is, we'll see. I am just happy to hang out with you people. Barbara, darling. Oh, Barbara is my spirit person. Barbara wants abs. Look, everybody who wants the fleshy hog, because look, the bugger looks like he died anyway. Look, let's kind of do something Halloween, okay? This right here, I don't think I would want to strip it. I would just like cut bits of it and then cover it in a flesh tone like that. And then it will look like a hog, a doggy that is ready for hog roasting. Oh, who is up? Who is in on it? Let us know. Let us know so that we can make it happen. That would be awful though. What will we do with the eyes? Barbara is here. Lollipop is here for it. So please put your votes in. We're turning Strudel into a Halloween meat. A Halloween dead raw meat. Turn it into a hot dog. We want something gory. Okay? We want something gory. We want something just... yeah. We don't want anything subtle. If it's subtle, it's not good. Because it's Halloween. We've got to have something for Halloween. When is Halloween? Anyway, when is trick or... is it trick or... you know what? I don't know what that is. I'm just going to leave it over there. Is it trick or treat, right? A little bone showing. God. Now I think I've got to kind of like work out myself mentally for this challenge I've gone and embraced. But you know what? It's always good to embrace something new. So yeah, we might end with a little bone. So the leg, one of the hind legs will be some bony. I mean, look, honey. We'll see. Halloween is in 2 days. So it's on Friday, is it? Halloween is on Friday. And what am I doing? I've got stuff to do tomorrow and Friday. When is Halloween's on Friday? Okay, let me just keep quiet. I might or might not, I don't know. Because I know for sure I'm not here tomorrow. Tomorrow, because I've been here since Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Okay, that's 4 days of live tutorials. And I've got to go and sort out some admin stuff. So I am not here tomorrow. But I am likely going to be back on Friday. That's up in the air. It depends. If I come back, obviously we'll spend the entire live getting Strudel to look meaty. If we don't, let's just say we missed Halloween this year. Okay? It's neither here nor there because just a little bit of an update and an announcement. Like the lives are coming back, are going to be starting on Mondays, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. So you have 3 days. And our long form content is now going to be raised to twice a week instead of one. So you have Thursdays and Sundays. So even though the lives are Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, you get a full length content on Thursday, you get one on Sunday. So then we have Friday and Saturday where you can kind of catch up on the shorts. But if you've been here, you will know that I'm very active in the comment section. The community post is usually updated. I talk to you all, and the business email is in the homepage. So you can drop me an email. Even though I'm not very prompt over there, you can still find me. So we're going back because the lives used to be Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, right? Now I'm not available on the Thursday. So the Thursday has now moved to Monday. So you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then full length video on a Thursday and another full length. So we have 2 uploads on the channel twice a week, and then 3 days of short. That's enough content for you to have fun and enjoy. And the Thursday and Friday uploads are more like a clipped version of what we will be doing on Monday, Tuesdays, Wednesdays. The Monday, Tuesday lives are going to be a mix of class sessions. So there will be presentation style videos. So for instance, we started the ganache tutorials. I am going to be hopefully continuing that class until we cover everything in the ganache tutorials. And then we'll move on to, say, buttercream. And so depending on how it goes, the 2 days are full of class sessions where the interaction with me is very limited because I'm trying to hand you information in class. And then the 1 day, which is either, depending on what day it is amongst the 3 days, it's more for interaction. So it's laid back. It's just catching up on the 2 days of information that I may have missed in the chatter, and then answering them back and keeping you updated. And then once a month, we have the bake along sessions. So the bake along sessions once a month for the month of October, which would have been this Friday, we would have had to make a cheesecake because Tatiana wanted to know how to make it so that it is ready for Thanksgiving. So for such a request, because I'm already like packed, I will have to make room for it. So that will be a bonus video, a bonus live somewhere. I don't know when, but it's likely to be any day post all the days I've kind of like spoken to you about. So I will be updating the community post. I'm trying to find my feet. I have other commitments. The season is busy, but I'm hoping that I can continue to serve you and bring you value. That's all. Ah, Lollipop, you're flooded in. That might just be the Halloween sign you need to just leave Halloween alone, okay? That might just be the sign you need to leave Halloween all by itself. But hey, honey. Could you do key lime? Yeah, key lime pie. So at the moment, between yourself, your key lime pie, and the pumpkin spice cheesecake, there is also a version of a chocolate gluten-free cake by one of our people. So yeah, I could. Those are, so please leave your suggestions in the chat and I will do well to kind of oh, okay. Lollipop is flooded in, but she has wellies. She's going to go out and try and still achieve. Sir, why are you losing? Oh, Baba, please don't kick stuff. Yeah, you can be angry, but don't kick the stuff. Lollipop is somewhere in the UK. Right. So anyway, people, I think I have this in front of me and I'm still like thinking, what can I do? What can I do? I just can't leave this alone, can I? Look what I'm doing. I can't. Like, I just can't leave this alone. Okay. Because I'm trying to, this is ganache that I ended up pasting on there because I can't help myself. Anyway, let me just go and cover that white bit with, yeah, just, yeah, yeah. Oh, I can't. I think I should stop now. I should stop now and let's be done. Let's be done. Okay, there we go. Because I just can't help myself. I keep doing stuff to the cake. All right? Stop it. I can tell you were screaming like, no. Leave it alone. But I've been praying for safety for it. Right, my people. We've done our steak cake. If you have any questions, let's get on with it. Please, 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 please. Here's the last request. Here's the last request. Consider liking the video. That is, if you like our steak cake, it's amazing. I made it. Okay? Like the video. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. We are an amazing bunch here. We are all friends. We keep in touch with each other over here. And look, we hold space for you. And even though we make cakes, okay, if you have any issues, come and talk to us. Please, let's remember, if you're not, by the way, I'm just going to say something, but if you're non-Christian, don't worry. You are still welcome to the table. Our door is open. You can sit with us, okay? Let's remember to keep Naomi, our friend, in prayers. She came to tell us she's not well. I sent her a text and haven't heard from her, but we are sending her hearty prayers and healing that her body recovers and she has comfort and help with her family. Unfortunately, our very good friend, Lady Lately, came here on Monday to tell us about her nephew who was in hospital with sickle cell. Unfortunately, sadly, he passed yesterday. She came back to update us. I cannot imagine the heartbrokenness she must be feeling. It makes the subject a little bit heavy considering we've had all the laugh in this world. Let's save a thought for her and remember her in our prayers. And for all of you, may your day be better. May your hopes and dreams come true. And may your feet stay steady in faith. Okay? I will see you on the next one. Happy baking and thanks for being here. Bye-bye.